a nice give and take. Oh, by the way, Tracy is going to record this, so so be aware of that. So if you whatever, so if you whatever you want to share, just be aware that I'd like to record it just because I want to keep on working on this stuff.
To the cloud, am I correct? I'm sorry to interrupt you. To the cloud, not to the computer.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Cool.
First time, everybody. First time.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
I'm out.
That means. I don't know what that means, but so yeah. So we're gonna have a conversation, and as we converse, I want to sort of to listen and be really present to what we're talking about, and then what I'd like to do is with whatever sort of remains with me, I'd like to do an improvisation for you for, I don't know, 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes. So that's the way it'll go. And then I'll open it back up, and then I have a couple other little like sort of funny monologues. I hope they're funny that I'll end with. So and I see that my friend Brooke has joined, and I was talking to Brooke about this the other day, that I'm working in a high school. I work in a high school for immigrant kids. It's called Manhattan International High School. And the teacher I work with is really amazing. I work through MCC Theater, and I know some of my MCC colleagues are on the call right now. So one of the things that really struck me this year was that when the teacher, Youre, and I were talking, when we were planning, Youre said, I mentioned a safe space, and she said, oh, we call it a brave space now. And I thought, oh, that's really cool. And so a brave space, as I know it, is a space where you can feel confident that you're going to be safe, physically, and you're going to be safe emotionally. But, even with that sort of agreement, like sometimes you're scared, like I'm scared right now, right? So I'm feeling nervous about this. And I thought, like, right when I started, I'm like, what am I doing, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm just going to follow that fear, as we would say in improvisation. I'm going to follow the fear. I'm going to feel the fear and do it anyway. I think that's a self-help book. But and so this is a brave space, okay? And like I said, that was inspired by this teacher that I'm working with in this high school. And I was thinking about that, and I was thinking that, like, when I went to high school, I went to a Catholic boys' school. There was a girls' school as well, but it wasn't attached to the boys' school, so it was all boys. And there's like maybe like 300 kids in a grade. And when I wasn't like I was very playful, I think, and I really enjoyed school. I think I just had fun. I come from a big family, and I just had fun. I loved to play. I ran track, I played soccer, and I just thoroughly enjoyed myself. And but I wasn't disruptive. Like I wasn't. I don't think I was disrespectful. I didn't have a beef with authority or anything like that. I just kind of, would joke around with my friends, and that was kind of it. But I really appreciated people who could sort of take down authority, and I'll very quickly in lunch, we had to sit at our lunch tables, and we had to sit quietly, and there was a prayer that was said and everything. And this priest, Father Flanagan, people called him Tuna for some reason. I don't know why. But so Father Flanagan sat up on top of this podium, of this like sort of platform, and he sat there with the microphone. He was the disciplinarian, and he would he would call your table. He'd be like, table 12, go up and get your lunch, and like you would stand up. And so he had like this order, and he would sort of call randomly whatever table he thought was like quiet or whatever. So he called our table one time, and this is like just something I appreciated. My friend George Kettleberger, really smart, really funny guy. Father Flanagan said, Mr. Kettleberger. And there was like a crushed milk carton on the ground, like an empty milk carton. And he said, Mr. Kettleberger, throw that milk carton out. And George said, okay, and walked up to the milk carton and went, "You're out," like that. And the place just erupted. It was like, yeah, you know, and it was a triumphant moment. You know, he'd totally taken down Father Flanagan. Well, that wasn't, I appreciated that, but that wasn't necessarily me. So that wasn't really the type of thing I did. Well, one day, I guess it was like junior year in high school, it was in religion class, and we got this assignment from the teacher, a priest, and the assignment was to write an essay about when we first became aware of evil. And I wrote about Evel Knievel, and I couldn't believe that I was doing it, you know, like I was writing I was watching my hand write, and I thought like, oh, I can't do this. I can't, but like something was like, no, you're doing this. You're writing about Evel Knievel. So I wrote this whole essay about Evel Knievel and how I became aware of Evel Knievel. And then I handed it in, and I can remember like taking the papers from the people behind me and then putting mine on top and then passing it up and letting it go and feeling like that was a bad idea. You know, this is not going to end well. And then I didn't tell anyone about it. And then the next day I was back in class, and I was sitting there, and Father Marr gave out all of the papers except mine. I didn't get mine back. And he said there was one person that didn't take the assignment seriously. And he said, Mr. Higgins, and he had my paper. He said, I'd like you to come up here and read this to the class. And I walked up to the class, and I took the paper and I read. I said something like, I first became aware of evil when he jumped 50 piled up cars on ABC's Wide World of Sports. And the place went nuts. Everybody was like laughing and everything. And I remember looking over at the priest, and he was like, continue. And then I said, but I became even more aware of evil when he attempted to jump the Snake River Canyon in, like, I forget what it was called. It was like the something X cycle 2000 or something like that. And but you know, his parachute opened prematurely, and he landed. He didn't make it, and he landed in the middle of the canyon, and he suffered a broken nose and a bruised ego. And I said, and it was in that moment that I became fully aware of evil. And everyone was laughing, and they were like clapping, and I was done, and I sat down. And as I was walking back to my desk, the priest said, he said, Mr. Higgins, see me after class. Well, I just got a notification of some sort. He's like, Mr. Higgins, see me after class. So I was scared, right? I was like sort of trembling, whatever, nervous. So I went to see him after class, and he said, have you ever thought about being a comedian? And I lit up, and I was like, yeah, like I have thought about that. And he was really cool about it. He told my parents that he thought I should be a comedian, and he ended up taking me and my sister to a comedy club, and it's sort of a whole long story. But the thing is that I'm so glad that I followed through on that temptation. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so glad. I don't know don't know where that voice came from. I don't know why I bit the apple, you know. I don't know why I followed through on that temptation, but I did. And then I started to think like, well, when did I become aware of evil? You know what I mean? Like, why didn't I write about it? You know, what, was I afraid or whatever? But anyway, so in preparation for tonight, I figured, well, I'm going to reread Genesis to, you know, to sort of follow up on my apple metaphor. So I reread Genesis. I don't know if you've read it lately, but so I read Genesis over again, and it's really interesting because so, you know, spoiler alert, they eat the apple, right? They bite the apple, and then Yahweh God, like, freaking loses it, right? And he says we, he's like using we, maybe it's the royal we or something. He's like, we can't let them reach up. So they ate from the tree of knowledge, right? And then he's like, we can't let them reach up and eat from the tree of life. Then they'll live forever. The tree of life also, according to my translation. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I was like, what? There's another tree? Were there two trees? You know what I mean? Was there the tree of knowledge? So I'm Googling that. So apparently there's some confusion as to whether there's two trees or whatever. So yeah, so if they ate from the tree of life, they would have lived forever. But that wasn't the one that he told them not to. So I was like, what the fuck is going on? You know? And then he kicks them out. And he says to Adam, as you know, maybe, like, he says to Adam, like, look, man, you are going to have to work for your food, man. You're going to have to toil, you know, you're going to have to dig in the soil, man, you know, and it's not going to be easy to eat, you know. And then he says to Eve, he goes, Eve, I'm going to multiply. Oh, this sick bastard. He's like, I'm going to multiply your childbirth pain, man. I'm going to multiply it. And this guy, Adam, is not going to be able to do anything. You're just going to curse. He's going to stand next to you, right? And I'm reading this and I'm thinking, like, what a fucking asshole. Do you know what I mean? This guy totally overreacted to this, you know? And I was thinking, like, if I was Yahweh God, I would have been like, okay, so, all right, so you ate the apple. I told you not to eat it. No big deal. Not a big deal. Just do me a big favor. Going forward, if you could please not eat the apple off of the tree. That's what I would have been like. I would have been like, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm sure like Adam probably would have said something like, but that just seems so, arbitrary, Yahweh God. And I'd be like, yeah, well, the whole thing's arbitrary, Adam. The whole thing is, where are you going to start picking your battles with the arbitrariness? You know what I mean? And then he would probably been like, okay, yeah, good point, Yahweh God. And then I would have been like, okay, well, so it's been a long day. I'm going to turn in. And then Adam probably would have been like, turn in? Like, what do you mean? What's turn in? And then I would have been like, oh, that's an expression. That's what we call an idiom. And then Adam would have been like, what's an idiom? And then Yahweh God would be like, it's like, what is an idiom? I don't know. An idiom is like a phrase that sort of doesn't make sense. Whatever. I don't know. Was that helpful? And then Adam would be like, no, that was totally not helpful. That was not a helpful definition of idiom, Yahweh God, but it's okay, but it's fine. We can talk about it later. And then, yeah, I would have been like, yeah, okay, great. Thank you. Good luck with the consciousness and all that. And, break a leg. I'm going to hit the sack. And then Adam would be like, oh, boy, you're Mr. Idiom, aren't you, Yahweh God? You're like, yes, Mr. Idiom. And then Eve, this is where it gets good. I feel like Eve would then at that point be like, Adam, cut Yahweh God some slack. And then Adam would be like, Eve, did you just use an idiom? And then I, Yahweh God, and I look at Eve, and Eve and I would be like, we got something going on. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh, you know what I mean? And then the serpent would be like, let's talk about the elephant in the room. And then Adam would like grab it and be like, what's the room? What's the room? And anyway, so that's my digression on that. So, but I was wondering, like, if this is where the conversation takes place, right here. So I was wondering if there was anything in my little story about evil Knievel and all that sort of thing. Was there anything that sort of triggered a memory in you, like something like, oh, that I remember that time when I really, followed through on a temptation, or I really, was there ever a time in your life when you followed through on something, you made a left instead of, where you usually made a right? Or was there someone in your life who recognized something in you and like sort of called it out? Or when did you first become aware of evil in your life? Remember, it doesn't have to get too deep, and only what you feel safe sharing. And then I'll try to take care of whatever you share, and maybe create something with it. So, anybody? Thank you for being here again. You can just unmute.
Yeah, for sure. I went to an Episcopal school in junior high.
All right, I'm trying to find you.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, great.
And I
Nina!
I know, what's up, Matt?
Hi, Nina. All the way out there in Iowa. So
yeah.
You went to an Episcopal school?
For junior high, and they required collared shirts, and I was just so desperate to be cool. This was in Virginia, and I just wanted so badly to be awesome, and I didn't know how. Like, I wasn't like a popular kid. I was like smart, but I wasn't one of those kids that like got amazing grades. It was just like, good. And I wanted to rebel against the collar policy. So I went to the dollar store. And at the time, the dollar store had like shirts. And so I bought a bunch of $1 collared shirts, and I cut off the collars, and then I would pin them into my clothes every day so that I could wear whatever I wanted, but then have the collar. And one day, one of the science teachers, who now thinking back on it, I'm like, I think she was kind of unstable. Like, this was just like a very unusual thing to do, but like, for some reason, she was just particularly enraged by my collars. And like, I think the worst thing I did besides that was like I passed a note one time and I immediately got caught. Like, I'm horrible at stuff like that. And so I tried to be super smooth, and it was just like, give me that note right away, And so with the collars, I was just like, I've done it. Like, I've crushed the system. And then this sort of unstable science teacher one day was just like, you and those collars, one of these days you are going to be so sorry that you bent the rules this way, and don't think we don't notice that you're not really following them, even though you think you've gamed the whole system. And I mean, of it in this like vitriolic tirade, it was just so intense, and I'm like 12, and so I was just like, so at the time I was just like, I'm shaking, I'm so nervous about it, but also there was like a large part of me that was like, I'm so awesome. Like, yeah. What I've driven her to. So yeah.
Did the day ever come when, like, that day that she described, when she was it a woman or a man teacher?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did the day ever come when her prediction like happened when you were like, no, it's
I um
no.
I don't think so. I mean, I think about it way too much. Like I shouldn't remember that. Like I'm 47. Like I really should not be thinking about this. And yet it comes up so often where I'm like, is this like the collared shirts? Like is this my half attempt, my like offensive attempt, to get around a rule?
To game the system. Is that what you
In
said?
the system. I know.
Gaming the system. We see you. And what did you do? Did you use like safety pins?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Mhm.
And what did you put them on? T-shirts or just
Yeah.
anything?
T-shirts, sweatshirts. Yeah, I had bought these like I thought skaters and surfers were really cool. And so I bought these men's like skate pants. I don't know what made them even skate pants, but they were just like, they were sort of like not all the way to the ankle. And so I would wear those and like high tops and like large sweatshirts or large t-shirts or something. And I was just like, please, like, is this outfit cool? But then, yeah, to achieve ultimate coolness, like I had to be able to wear it to school so other people could see. And then, so that's where the collars came in.
Wow. Amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
Anyone else? Like, hey, should I? Anyone else out there that
I'll jump in and share something.
go for it?
This was a time when I felt so brave and so in my BDE, like just all over the place. This is the first job I ever had that I got fired from. And I worked in Turfland Mall at a place called the Cookie Hut, which basically consisted of me going in stoned and making cookies and giving them away to all my friends who would stop by, or compulsively eating the cookies. Mm. And one day, this bitch of a woman bought her cookie and came back, and there was a hair in her cookie. Ooh. And she held the cookie up by the hair, and so that the cookie slowly was spinning in a circle. And I don't know that I was stoned at that moment, but I probably was, because that's the way I spent those years of my life. And so she says, "Excuse me, miss, there's a hair in my cookie." And she holds it up and the cookie starts swinging. And I look at her and I say, "Why don't you show the whole damn mall?" And I got fired about 10 minutes after this. But in that moment, I was brave enough to say exactly what I wanted to say. And that's the tall and the small of my story. It's the first job I got fired from. I've been fired from several jobs since because of this right here, because my mouth. Nice. But I also wanted to add in that I had an Evel Knievel bicycle in 1976 that had a banana seat that was like a deconstructed American flag. Oh, so man. I'm so appreciative, Matt, of your Evel Knievel. And I remember the Snake River jump.
Yeah.
And then I remember like he's going to jump the Grand Canyon or something that was like, oh.
Yeah.
But
they wouldn't let him jump the Grand Canyon. He actually purchased the land in, was it Idaho or Iowa? It was one of those I states. Nina, you might want to check this out for me, see if you're near the Snake River Canyon. But like he actually purchased the land on both sides so that he could do the jump.
Yeah.
But oh man, I want your bike. I want your
that bike was a rad ass bike. But that moment when I allowed myself to actually say what I was thinking, even though I knew there was going to be blowback, it was one of those early moments. I think I was 15. I was either 14 or 15, but it was literally my first job. I think I must have been 15, but I just remember really feeling in my power and allowing myself the right to say exactly what I thought to someone.
And did you get fired because of that?
Absolutely, I did. Yeah.
Nice.
Immediately I got fired. And it was so worth it to me.
it's worth it for all of us.
It was so
Donna
worth
Jo.
it.
We,
Yeah.
I'm so glad that woman got a hair in her cookie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm so glad it was long enough that she could spin it, because for me, it's like, it seems like it was like a mobile of some kind.
Exactly. It was like a bad wind chime, or
Yeah. You should
or-
have just gone like this. You should have gone like, pow!
I wish I would have now. See, I'll add that to my
Yeah.
list of regrets.
No regrets. No regrets. No regrets.
Yeah.
Do you have a list of regrets?
I have a small list of regrets. It's growing.
Yeah.
Matt, I got a story.
All right, let me find it. Oh, Randy.
Yeah. First of all, like A+ for stage management and lighting. I mean, whoa. If we could all have a Zoom, but you, you're perfectly
You're
lit.
beautiful.
It's a ring light. Here, watch this. Watch this. I'm going to hypnotize everybody. Ready?
Oh, I've heard about these.
Yeah.
Ooh, you are
Can
the
you see
serpent.
that?
You are
Can you
the
see the ring?
serpent.
Yeah, I am the serpent.
I feel like that cookie swinging round and round.
Yeah.
And you, Matt, are the hair.
Round and round.
Who sings that, Randy? Who
Goes
sings
around.
that? Who sings that?
Rat.
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 Double T. Favorite song of 1986.
Yeah.
Okay, so my story pertains to the motorcycle, actually. So when I grew up, I grew up overseas, and I went to high school in Cairo. And during that period, we had the privilege of being able to go on lots of school trips, both domestic and international. And my best friend and I decided to save up to try to see if we could save up our money. And so, given that the school put out a lot for, the actual trips themselves, we got to actually pocket a lot. We ended up pocketing at least half of what our parents gave us for those trips. And then at the beginning of our we were either 16 or 17, beginning of, I think, senior year of high school, we were like, let's buy a motorcycle.
Nice.
And I like to say we went to the black market. It was probably just a friend of a neighbor of a friend of a neighbor of a friend of a neighbor, but we ended up
in Cairo.
in
Were you
Cairo, Egypt, and we bought it. We bought a motorcycle. We had no idea how to drive it. It didn't come with helmets. Helmets not required in Egypt at the time. And we kind of self-taught ourselves how to drive this thing, and then we just had a blast. We'd drive out to the desert. We'd start doing donuts, and I mean, we literally could have killed ourselves a million ways from Tuesday. But luckily, fortunately for me and for my family, that didn't happen. But so there was sort of a literal kind of like stick it to the man kind of situation. It was really more like stick it to mom. But my best friend Scott ended up having a really big blowout fight with his mom. And at the end of it, to just show her up, he was like, oh yeah, well, me and Randy, we went out and we bought a motorcycle, and we've been riding it around town for like the last 3 months. And so I was not there for this fight, but that's how it was presented to me. But I did end up getting called out, Randy, mom from the other end of the house saying, you've got some explaining to do. And that was the end of the motorcycle. So, but we had a fun time while it lasted.
Thank you. Redo my camera.
I've got a short story where I stuck it to the man.
Who's that?
My Angela Everson.
Oh, Angela.
So I wore braces when I was a kid, and uh, before I had braces, I had to get glasses. So getting the braces after I already had glasses was kind of like a real blow to my ego, because it's impossible to like stay cool when you have glasses and braces.
Okay, so Angela, you're breaking up a little bit, but I
And
think
I
I'm
was also in the like mentally gifted program, so I was a smart kid with glasses and braces. So the odds are against me at this point. I'll just keep going because it's short.
okay.
So the agreement was I had to wear braces for 2 years. And when the 2 years were up, I was ready. So, all right, let's do this. Let's get them off. And my orthodontist told me, no, actually, you now need to have headgear. You need headgear for 2 years on top of this. And I said, oh, hell no. And I went home and I took my braces off by myself. My mom had medical supplies, and I cut the wires, and I got little clamps, and I took my braces off. And the only thing I couldn't do was the wire bands in the back that wrapped around the molars. I needed professional help to get those off. But my mom got home and I knew that I was going to get like the whooping of a lifetime. And instead she was like, huh, your teeth look pretty good. I think you just saved us a lot of money in dental work. So yeah, that's cool. Totally got away with it.
Nice. Did you get those off back there? Are they still on? I think.
Angela?
My mom took me to another dentist and had him take them off.
All right. Cool. Thank you.
Matt, I just want to interject that Nina has alerted us that it is Twin Falls, Idaho. Thank you, Nina.
Twin Falls.
Idaho was the question. Idaho is the state, the I state that you were asking about.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
It's Karl.
Hey, Karl.
Hey, so I oddly have a little story about Evel Knievel.
What?
Yeah, so a buddy of mine down in Texas, his family was in the promotion business, did like, concerts and motorsports and all kinds of things. And he was a young man, in his teens, and his father was a promoter. And one event, they were promoting Evel Knievel, who was doing a big jump in an arena, like over 50 cars or whatever. And his father would bring him to be kind of a gopher on these events that his father was promoting. It was a family business. And he said, Brian, I need you to go out and get Mr. Knievel's whiskey. And he's like, what do you mean is whiskey? And he's like, just go out to the store, get his whiskey and bring it back to him. And so he goes and gets it, and he goes up and he's like, oh, Mr. Knievel, I was told to bring this to you, but don't you have a jump to do? I mean, you've been practicing for this, right? And he's like, kid, you don't practice what I do. There's no practice. I have a promoter and I have guts. and then I drink some whiskey and I do it. And that's it. Like, that was Evel Knievel. It was like, I'm going to drink some whiskey and I'm going to hurdle myself over whatever and hope I don't kill myself.
Well,
And Karl, I think you've been living with those words ever since.
Yes, exactly.
in the spirit of Mr. Knievel, I'm not going to practice this. I haven't rehearsed this. I'm just going to drink my New York City tap whiskey. And I'm going to, whatever comes up, comes up. Thank you for that, Karl. Wow, you're really working that dough. Yeah. Oh, God, pull my hair back. Jesus, look at your forearms. You are working that dough, man. You are working that. Oh, yeah, pour some more chocolate chips in. They're up there on that shelf. Okay, well, I can't do both. Okay. Oh, there you go. Oh, my hair's in my eyes. Pull my hair back. It's in my eyes. Yeah, this is going to be the best batch of cookies ever, man. This is going to be the best batch. We're going to sell this shit. When we sell this shit, we're going to make a profit and we're going to see the world. Me and you, buddy. Me and you. Keep on stirring, man. I believe in you, man. I believe in you. Yeah, we're going to go. We're gonna ride the rails, man. We're gonna ride the rails. We're gonna go to Alaska. We're gonna king crabfish. We're gonna go Middle East. We're gonna see the pyramids. We're gonna see it all. Yeah, I'd like to buy a box of cookies. I'd like to buy a dozen boxes of cookies. All right. A dozen box? You want a dozen boxes of cookies, or you want a box of a dozen cookies? I want a dozen box of cookies. I'm still unclear as to whether you want a dozen boxes of cookies. What is it? I'm not clear whether she wants a dozen boxes of cookies. I want a dozen boxes of cookies. Dozen boxes of cookies. Okay, so a dozen boxes of cookies. Jesus, we're gonna make our nut on this one sale. Thing is, you have to deliver it. You're gonna have to deliver it to my place. Will do. Just write your address down right there, and we're gonna bring it to you, man. We're gonna bring it to you. There. It's right there. It's across the canyon. What? Jesus. She's that crazy science lady across the canyon who lives in that crazy laboratory over there. She's nuts. But we have to deliver these dozen boxes of cookies, man. How are we going to deliver a dozen boxes of cookies, man? We're not even 16 yet. We can't even drive. On your bike, dude. We're going to deliver them on your bike. What? Yeah. Keep on going, man. You're doing a great job. Just keep on pedaling. You're doing. I gotta pick up some speed. We're gonna jump the canyon. Your hair, man. It's getting in my face. Your hair's getting in my face. It's getting in my face. We're jumping in. Realize these are in the apartment. Oh man, a bust in my face. You're gonna be okay. Oh Jesus, man, there's cookies everywhere. There's wolves, man. There's wolves in the canyon. We're stuck in the canyon, man. Yeah, look at the bike. The bike's broken. The bike's in a million pieces. We gotta put the bike back together again, man. This bike is broken and there's wolves and there's cookies all over the place. And the wolves want the cookies, man. Pop! Oh! 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 You punched my lip, man. I got braces. You're a bastard, man. Look, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me, man. I just freaked out. We gotta put this bike back together again. We gotta put all these cookies. We gotta put this is Dustin 144 cookies. 144 cookies all over the place. We gotta put it all back in boxes and put together your bike and okay. The chain, man. It's all back together except for the chain. The whole thing. Well, maybe the chain, maybe we could just like sort of link it together like this, like right here. No, man. We need to wire it together. We need to wire this. Man, what are you looking at me like that for, man? We gotta take your braces out, dude. We gotta take your, what are you talking about? My mother worked hard for these braces. We're not taking these braces. We gotta take those braces out of your mouth and we gotta put them on this bike chain and we gotta ride this bike up that embankment to the other side with all 144 cookies, and we gotta do it tonight. Okay. I'm only doing this because you're my buddy, man. We have to switch. My quads are getting really tired. We're almost up. We gotta switch back again. We're up. This is it. This is where she lives. Good job carrying all those cookies, man. Thank you. Jesus. You know what? Your teeth don't look half bad. They don't look half good either, do they? You're right. They don't look half good. They look okay. But come on, man. We gotta deliver these cookies to that crazy lady in there. Ding dong. Oh, it's the boys. It's the boys with the cookies. Come on in, boys. What happened to you? Your shirt's in shreds. You're torn apart. We had a little accident. We wanted to get these cookies to you so quickly, and we jumped the canyon. You gotta build like a bridge or something. Yeah, look, if you built a bridge, it would be such a better commute here. But yeah, so we went and we jumped it. Your shirts! The collars are torn off the shirts. I can't look at you, let alone pay you for your cookies. Look, lady, what? You want to jack me up? But you're gonna learn the hard way someday. All right. Okay. Come on, man. We gotta fix our collars. Right now. Here's a box of safety pins. Use the safety pins. Something freaky about those safety pins. I know. They're like radioactive or something. But what the heck, man? We need the money. They're burning. They're burning my neck. Yes. They're burning your neck. And they're singeing your hair.
because one day when I was in your store, I got a cookie with a hair in it.
Huh? What? That's not my hair.
I did the lab reports on it, and it is your hair.
Huh? Oh God. Oh God. I'm sorry. What? What the? Run!
You won't get far.
Come on, man. Oh God. We have to. What's going on? What the? Where? This isn't, it's not Idaho. This is the desert, man. What? We shouldn't have gone out that door. It must be some sort of a portal. What? Oh man. That camel. That's camel, dude. We're not in Idaho anymore, man. We're in Egypt. Look. See the pyramids? Oh God. We gotta get out of here. At least we have the cookies. You took the cookies? Yeah, man. I took the cookies. You didn't see? I had the cook. Look, I've got 144 cookies in here. 12 cookies, 12 boxes. We gotta sell those cookies. We're gonna sell those cookies, and with the profit, we're gonna get ourselves a hog. What? You mean a Harley? We're gonna get ourselves a Harley. Yeah, we're gonna get a Harley, and we're gonna do donuts. Oh man, that's ironic. We're cookie makers doing donuts. Yeah, it is ironic, right? It's totally ironic. You're right. What? Boom. Oh, sweet hog. Look at this beast. Oh, she's pretty. She's pretty. She's beautiful, man. Let's do it. Let's go and start doing some donuts. And they did donuts. And their donuts just kept on boring and boring and boring. And they did these donuts until the donut went all the way down into the earth. And the earth itself became a donut, a very large donut. And the whole of the donut fell out, forming a cookie. And the cookie, it flew and went all the way back to Idaho and landed outside the crazy science lady's house. Bing bong! Yeah! You want a cookie? We got you a cookie. Careful, it's hot. It's made from the Earth's core. All right. That's it. That's the story.
Woo! Woo!
Totally did teach earth science.
What's that? I so appreciate you you hanging in for that crazy that she taught earth science. Nina, she taught earth science. Oh my God. I can't even, it just came to me. Nina, that just came to me. Like I don't know why. I don't know why it just went. That's just where it's weird. It's just like the collective unconscious, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Ironic.
It's ironic. It's idiomatic. Yeah. So, well, I don't want to keep you any longer. Again, I'm so grateful that you joined me. And like I said, this work right here that I'm doing, actually Josh Liveright and I, we really started, we really started working it together, like sort of with this format, in real life out there, not on Zoom. And so over the summer, I was just like every day writing like things that came to mind. And this was like, and I've continued to do that. And this is like sort of like the story is like the latest thing that sort of came to mind. And I'll leave you with this if I may. So this past week, for you may or may not know this, but like it was Ash Wednesday, right? And Ash Wednesday always freaked me out because we had to get like ashes on our forehead, and they would say they would like make a cross on your forehead, and it was like gritty, and they would say like, remember man that you are dust, and unto dust you shall return. And then all day we would walk around with this big sort of like this big cross on our forehead, and it freaked me out because like I that really resonated with me. I was like, oh my God, like we are that's true. And I just couldn't. I was like, I guess I had difficulty processing it. I was like, why is everyone just going to lunch at this point? This was like an existential thing, and every time I hear, I guess it's a Joni Mitchell song, we are stardust, we are golden, it kind of reminds me of that. And so I guess and in this sort of keeping with this theme, I want to share one more thing with you, and bear with me. I think I might have to read this a little bit, but so I don't want to keep you past 9 o'clock. But so okay, so when I have ideas, I run them by. We have to get ourselves back to the garden. So true, right? So in sort of keeping with this sort of like biblical theme, I really I dug the parables. Like I liked the parables. I thought that was I liked the sort of the stories, and so my favorite parable is the sower and the seed. And the reason I like that parable is probably because it might be, I don't know if many people would like it because of this, but like I like it because like I always felt like I always felt like I didn't have to change. You know how there's like the good soil, then there's like the rocky soil and the thorny soil and all that sort of thing. And I realized at a certain point, like, oh, it didn't matter what soil you were. Like still seed was, so I was kind of like, hey, you don't have to make yourself good soil. I kind of appreciated my own take on that. And anyway, so like I always run stuff by Tracy, and I was wondering like if Jesus ran his parables by people, like he was like, Peter, do you have a minute? And Peter's like, oh God, I'm really kind of busy. Oh, it's so, it's okay. No, it's fine. It's fine. No, Jesus, what do you want? No, it's fine. I really don't want to bother you, but I was working on a parable, and I just thought, no, you can totally later. No, I don't want to bother you. No, it's no bother. It's no bother. Oh, okay. All right. So, all right. So here it is. All right. Yes. Yeah, so all right. Okay. So there's like a frail old woman, and she is removing the rocks from her garden, and she removes all of the rocks, but there is one rock that she cannot remove. It is too big. It's like the size of an adult man's head, and it's too much for her to lift. And so there's a stranger walking by, and she asks, "Can you help me lift this rock?" And then the stranger lifts the rock and puts it on the rock. And that's all I've really got. And I don't know what to do with it from there. It's just like an old woman. Okay, so there's like an old woman in a garden. She's like de-rocking her garden, and then she can't. And then she asks for help from this guy who helps her. And then he puts a rock on the wall. And so I'm just trying to figure out like, is that enough? Or yeah, I think it's totally fine, because the woman, whatever, the woman's like, you know, she asks for help, and then, you know, she gets the help, and so that's, I guess, so like the moral is like, ask for help. Yeah. So I guess it's like, ask for help. So I'm like I'd be the old woman. Anyway, thank you so much. Like, that's all I have. It's really rough, but I really appreciate you being here. You can unmute if you want, and I'm on my phone, so it's hard to see. So. Thank you for being here.
Yay, Matt.
Great stuff, Matt.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Matt.
Love the hair.
Nice to see everyone.
Yeah, and everyone, you know, take care of yourselves. And oh, Tracy's bringing the computer out, but I think we're gonna get feedback.
Well, just turn your phone on.
Oh,
Just so you can see everybody's faces.
oh wait, we're getting feedback.
Matt, you're muted, babe. Matt, you're muted. The computer's muted.
Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna leave that meeting there.
Perfect.
Do it again, Matt.
Thanks,
I'll
Matt.
All right, here goes.
So much better than Netflix. Hi, Jen and Carl. Hi,
Thank
James.
you.
Nice to see
Hi,
you. Josh.
Thanks, Matt.
Hi, Jen.
Thanks,
Hi,
everybody.
everyone.
Great. Good to
Wow,
see
the
you.
community.
Matt,
Nice.
thank you so much for taking like the fabric of your own experience and using that as a prompt for everyone to share, and then building such beautiful art out of everyone's private share. It was masterful, and I feel so connected now to people I don't even know. The fact that we all had a piece of yours, of what you created, has just moved me and has brought my heart so much warmth tonight. Thank you so much for your artistry and for all the community, for everyone who shared. Like, the crazy collars is going to stay with me. And these safety pins, just pure channeled genius.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
You should hit stop recording.
Be safe, okay? Take care.
You too.
I love you all. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, Matt.
Bye.
See you, brother.
You want to hit stop recording?
Stop right there.
Stop.